Hey y'all. Hey everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So I wanted to do a live stream. So I wanted to do a live stream because the Chatham County Police Department did another press conference. I'm sorry, I just ran in my office. I was on a meeting on a Zoom call that was supposed to be done at like 12:55 my time. So I ran in here. They did another press conference this morning, and I wanted to go ahead and us watch it together. And I was really hoping that they would give us a lot more than they're giving us, but they're just not for some reason. But we are going to watch it together and then we'll discuss it. Thankfully, this time we could hear a little bit better as to what the reporters were asking, because last time we just could not. We just could not really hear it. So we're going to watch it. Do I need to do a recap of the story? I generally like to give a recap of the story. But if I don't need to, we'll just go on into watching this press conference. If I do need to give a recap of the story, if there's anybody in here that doesn't know the story, put a 1 in the chat, please. I'm going to give it just a couple of minutes. Hey, everyone. Hey, you guys. I hope the mother and grandmother get charged. Actually, if you're an adult in that house. You guys make sure you change the chat from top chat to live chat. And give the video a thumbs up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and watch it. And then we will discuss. I think most of us know, yeah. I think you're right. The last few, I have given like a little recap just for anybody that wasn't completely caught up. But at this point, I think everybody knows, right? No recap. Okay. What I will do is I will link a video in the description box below. Oh, somebody's out there with their music super loud. I will link a video in the description box for anybody watching on replay that wants more of a recap. They can find one. Hello from Mississippi. Hello from Louisiana. Over to Mississippi. Hey. All right, you guys. I'm gonna have to stop and commentate, here and there. But we are gonna listen to it. You guys, I want you guys to tell me if you can hear it, okay? Please, whenever I start playing, say we can hear it or say we can't hear it. That way I know.
We began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County. As with every step we have taken in this case, the need for this search was based on where the evidence led us. We have spent the last several days preparing and deploying extensive resources to support the search team and the investigators. And I would like to thank, for a moment, Chatham County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, so really quickly, he just said, it's super low. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do it like this, and you guys tell me if this is any better. One thing that I've noticed is he keeps saying, like, we have evidence that leads us to believe that he is deceased. Now, I'm hearing that evidence is that she was caught on camera disposing baby Quinton's body. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. You guys, any video that you see about Quinton, know that it comes with a trigger warning because he has a 20-month-old toddler that went missing that is presumed dead, and it is presumed that his mom disposed of him in the garbage, and he ultimately, where he ultimately ended up at a landfill. It comes with a trigger warning, so just know that. I'm going to back it up, and we're going to try this again to see if you guys can hear it better another way. But yeah, one thing that he keeps saying is we have solid evidence that, he is deceased, and the mom is the prime suspect. And I've heard that it is this footage of her disposing the body. One thing that the question is if she found him that way, or as if she did this, if she did something to him. Did she find him this way? And I think that's why I'm going to actually make myself big again before we actually before we watch this really quickly. I'm sorry. So I think that's why a lot of people are frustrated. And I'm not going to lie, I've kind of been one of those people. I don't want another Casey Anthony situation. I don't want another them arresting her and not having the evidence that they have and not being able to prosecute her. So I do want them to get as much evidence as possible to prove that she did this. But it would make sense if she's saying, I didn't do it. When I woke up, he was like that. And I just got scared and just didn't know what to do. So I just, got rid of the body because I didn't know what to do. And so that would make a lot of sense of why they're taking their time on this to get every bit of evidence they could. Why do they keep having press conferences when there's no new information? I'm really not sure. One thing that I did learn from this press conference, there was only a couple things and it wasn't really big things. But one thing that I did learn is they're not shooting for capital punishment. This is not going to be a capital punishment charge. One of the reporters did ask that, are you guys holding off because it's going to be a capital punishment charge? And he said no. So they only have one chance to do it right, exactly. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can hear this better. Also, if it's muffled or echoey, let me know.
And FBI entered a new phase in the search for Quinton Simon.
Okay, so he said the FBI has entered a new phase in the assignment. The FBI has entered a new phase, which I think is the actually looking for him.
A short time ago, we began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County. As with every step we have taken in this case, the need for this search was based on where the evidence led us.
And like I said, once again, and I have to stop and commentate on this, you guys. I'm sorry, but I have to make sure it qualifies for fair use. But crap, I just forgot. But I do have to stop and commentate every few minutes for it to qualify for fair use. The landfill. So they're saying that they have started searching the landfill, and that search started yesterday. They had to prepare for that for some reason, and that's why they didn't search over the weekend, allegedly, is because they had to prepare the landfill for their searching. They had to get particular teams together for this search. Yeah, they did nothing over the weekend. There was a golf tournament for law enforcement there. No, Kay with something to say. Don't tell me that because that's going to tick me off. But because I was really believing they were getting special teams together for this search, and I hope that's what was happening. If they really were not looking because they were playing golf, that's a shame.
We have spent the last several days preparing and deploying extensive resources to support the search team and the investigators. And I would like to thank, for a moment, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff John Wiltshire, Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Savannah Police Department, Savannah Fire Department, Chatham Emergency Services, and many other agencies that have assisted in getting us prepared to begin our search of the landfill. We know that this is going to be a physically, mentally, and emotionally grueling task for our investigators and team.
Someone else was asking, why are they not letting, people volunteer to search the landfill over the weekend since the cops, for whatever reason, couldn't do it? Why weren't they letting people volunteer? And I'm going to believe it's, obviously when you have a potentially 20-month-old baby in a landfill and you're trying to work a murder case, you don't want any potential evidence to get destroyed or mishandled. And if some stranger who doesn't really know how to preserve evidence was the one to find the body, they could potentially, mess up evidence. So it is best that no volunteers go to the landfill digging around and just let, law enforcement do their job.
Yesterday, our team posted this picture of Quinton here on the wall of this operations center as a reminder of who we are searching for and why we continue to work.
Let me show you guys this picture, and I'm very glad that they put his picture up. When you have someone that you're looking at that you're looking for versus just the name, and when you're looking at that little baby's face, I think it makes a lot of difference to look at that baby's face every day and say, "This is who we're looking for. This is who we're looking for." You have to get all volunteers. Exactly, Lulu. Yeah, so it's not a smart move for people because I heard that. I heard that like people were trying to go out there, and I'm like, no, 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 please don't go out there. How could they not look for him this whole time? I know, Rebecca, I struggle with that. I struggle a lot with the police not searching over the weekend. But the one thing that I'm telling myself is it had to be some good reasoning. It was them getting the proper equipment. Maybe the landfill was being prepped. Maybe they knew like, okay, it may be in this general area, so let's block it off, and maybe there was something being done. That's just what I'm hoping. There was a reason, and it wasn't just for a golf tournament or because they didn't want to work that weekend. I would struggle with that a lot.
So terribly hard. We want justice for Quinton just like everybody else, and we want to find his remains so we can give him a proper resting place. Once again, we are indebted to the FBI for their unmatched expertise that they have provided to us since they arrived on scene.
Now, I was watching this live, and someone asked, I want to know why the FBI joined this case so early, but the Georgia Bureau didn't. And I'm not too familiar with different branches of law enforcement, but I guess each state has like their own bureau, like FBI bureau, right? Like Louisiana has like the Louisiana FBI. The FBI that they're talking about, is that just like, what FBI is that? Because somebody said, why did the FBI jump in on this, but the Georgia Bureau did not? And what caused the FBI to jump in on this so quick? Elle, did you see where a neighbor saw Leilani standing out and waiting to make sure the garbage truck came that day? I did hear that, Kay, with something to say. I did hear that she watched to make sure the garbage was taken off, and that she called the police after that. I did hear that.
Less than 3 hours after Quinton was reported missing. Now I'll turn it over to Senior Supervisory Resident Agent, Mr. Clark, who also has a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Clark. As the Chief said, I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI.
Mel, I got a question. So yeah, the GBI is totally separate from the FBI. One is ran by the state, and FBI is feds. Okay, so why wouldn't the GBI? I thought that was a good question. I was like, well, why wouldn't the Georgia Bureau join in to look for Quinton when the FBI, like the feds, was looking for him? So that was a question that I knew I wanted to bring up on this live stream. When we went live, FBI has a SWAT team for missing children that was called in right away. Okay, all right. Gotcha. FBI has a SWAT team. So GBI doesn't have like a SWAT team, and that's why it would be FBI. They have her placing him at a garbage trash can near a trailer park, not from a home. I also heard that it wasn't in front of her home, that it was at another location. So to me, I felt like the fact that she didn't even put him in her garbage, she did that. There was an intent to try not to get caught. This is the FBI, right? Or is this the CBI? Now, he said FBI. We'll back it up a little bit, but he said FBI.
Chief. Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Clark. As the Chief said, I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. Throughout our process here, our goal has been to bring Quinton home and to hold anyone responsible for his disappearance accountable. We, along with our law enforcement partners, go into this process with heavy hearts. We did not want to end up at this point, but the evidence has taken us here. We are not just randomly searching this landfill.
Okay, this is important. Listen to this. He says we're not randomly searching this. So the GBI obviously dropped the ball. They could have taken the case. GBI does kids too. It's just a big mess up on their part. Have they shown her doing that? Have they released the video? No, they have not, Sherry. This is all, speculation, what's been put out there. What we do know is there was a particular date, I think it was on the 11th, that they took cell phones from various family members. They drained the pool. They sprayed luminol all over the house, and allegedly they pulled CC footage from around the neighborhood. And it was later that evening that they said, we found something today that we believe has turned this case into a criminal case. It was the next day, I believe, that they said, he's deceased. We have evidence that tells us he is deceased. So it could potentially be video footage, or it could be something within the phones. It could be something, the pool, the luminol testing, and the pool was an underground pool. Somebody asked that earlier. So he says, we have specific information that tells us that he is in this specific landfill. I believe cadaver dogs also got a scent. That could very well be possible. I mean, they would, right? That's seems like they would. If he was deceased inside that home, them cadaver dogs, I think they would have picked it up. Let's continue.
We have evidence, specific evidence, that leads us to this large property. To help in this search, the FBI has brought in specialists from Quantico, Atlanta, as well as all of our personnel here in the greater Savannah area. The FBI's evidence response team, which has experience in landfill searches like this, is heading up part of this operation. At this moment, we have dozens of FBI personnel on scene in support of the Chatham County Police Department.
Okay, so he is verifying right there that at the moment of the press conference, they are actively at the landfill searching for Quinton. I do struggle with if they'll even find him at this point. He was just a 20-month-old baby who probably didn't weigh no more than 30 pounds, if that. And he has been missing for more than a week. I don't know what the weather is like in Georgia. Can someone tell me what the weather was like over the weekend as far as if it was hot or if it was cold, and how hot, how cold? Because that is a big factor in the stages of decomposition. From my understanding, if it's hot, a body will decompose quicker. If it's cold, it'll take it a little bit longer. But when you just think about the trash and then being moved around and other trash placed on top, the stage of his body, and the fact that it wasn't a big body, it's not like this is a 5'2" or 6'1" man or woman that weighs 125 to 200 pounds. This is a 25, maybe 30-pound baby that's not very big, that's like the size of a baby doll, essentially. I mean, my daughter has baby dolls probably the same size of him. And now they're going to have to go through, all this waste and search for something that could potentially be easy to miss. But he does say that they are there actively searching right now, which is good to know. If I know that family, I would have same. Like, I'm always like, if you don't want a baby, even though I got 6 kids of my own, if you don't want your baby, call me. I will take your baby, and I might take it for a little bit and then, let my sister raise it or something. But I would take a baby before anybody else hurt a baby. I strongly feel, I mean, they still have the fire department thing where if you have a baby, you can legally drop your baby off at a fire department and leave, and the fire department will, turn the baby over to the police, and that is fine. Um, you can do that. Uh, and she could have done that. She could have called her mom and said, "I'm struggling. Need you to come home," or I mean, I don't know. To me, I do wonder if it was planned. I don't think so. So Brenda, they do have someone outside the landfill posted up, and you have to sign in before you're allowed in. And I saw that yesterday. So there was someone flying a drone overhead, and did note that there was like police officers parked outside the landfill. Um, yeah, you don't even have to talk to anyone. There are boxes you can place a baby in at the fire station. She had 3 babies back to back doing drugs through the entire time. Yeah, because um, Zane and Sky both tested positive for drugs when she had them. Is there anyone here from that area? If there is, someone let us know.
We will have Chatham County and FBI personnel in the landfill each day, conducting a systematic search of the debris. This will be a complex and strenuous effort. Searchers will move through the debris placed on the search deck looking for evidence. Once that debris is cleared, it will be placed on the search deck and then removed and then replaced with another section of material. This will not be quick, no. It will not be easy, and the outcome is uncertain. As the chief said, we want justice for Quinton, and we want to find him a proper resting place. Again, we share the sorrow felt by millions.
Okay, really quickly, did you guys just pick up on that? So the part of the landfill that they believe him to be at, what they're doing is they are searching each piece of waste and putting it up on something to take it to another part of a different landfill that they don't believe that he's at. That way they can be very thorough in, thank you. That way they can be very thorough in their search. So at this point, if somehow they don't find him, it's because he was overlooked due to the fact that he is so small. But it seems like they do have a pretty good game plan. Rather than everybody walking around out there with sticks and just pushing it to the side, they're actually going to go through each piece, put it on a truck to be driven to another part of the landfill. That way, they can go through all the waste. Is it? Okay, so really quickly, there's another channel where a creator is standing outside. There's this small group of people that seems to be protesting. It looks like Billy Joe came outside, and one of the protesters is screaming at Billy Joe, "You're a lousy effing grandmother. You're a lousy effing grandmother." The police just showed up. Okay, the police just showed up at Billy Joe's house.
Y'all can't live like this, can it? Can't live like this. Can't live with all the noise coming from people outraged about
Okay, so this is outside Billy Joe's house. Billy Joe and someone else is outside. They've formed. We interrupt our normal broadcast to bring you breaking news. I'm sorry, you guys. This was not planned. But Dolly Vision is another creator who has been there outside the house from the very beginning. Apparently, there's some people that has showed up to kind of protest. Billy Joe, for some reason, came outside along with a few other people from inside the house. And this gentleman started yelling at them. You're a lousy grandmother. You're a piece of crap grandmother. And they called the police. Billy Joe called the police. Someone just said you fought with the babysitter. I think they're just trying to kind of, be intimidating, calling Billy Joe out. They're just clapping and yelling at this point. I don't think it's Dolly that's yelling like that. I don't think. I mean, I even watched Dolly one time where I think he had like a somewhat of an interaction with Billy Joe. I know he said somebody's dog got out and he chased the dog down. And I thought he was saying that it was the neighbor's dog. But then someone corrected me in chat and said, no, that was Billy Joe that he was talking to. So if it was, I do remember him saying, I just explained to her, like, we're not trying to cause no problems. We're just here for the baby. Yeah, that's not Dolly yelling, I don't think. Because this whole time he's been there, he's been pretty respectful.
Everyone, people need to go. Stop the war. Let's
Some more police are showing up. You can peacefully protest, but you also can be charged with disturbing the peace if you get too loud. If any neighbors complain, then at my point, I think, from my understanding, if it turns to where people in the neighborhood are complaining because you're being too loud, at that point, you are disturbing the peace. Peacefully protesting outside with signs, just maybe doing like a chant, no justice, no peace, whereas baby Quinton, no justice, no peace, that's understandable. But I think when it gets to the point to where it's screaming, a DJ arrived and community neighbors, etc., to protest. They could get some trouble. I would be too lucky shooter. Like, I have a family. My kids are, my daughter still takes naps sometimes. And, I mean, I wouldn't want,
They show up like this for the baby. I know, right? They show up like this for the baby. You're ready. Here's the rules on gate. Let us have it.
Go ahead, tell them what the rules are. All right, stay off the road. Nothing stays from last time, okay? You were here last time. All right, stay off the road. What's your name and badge number? Okay, 10955. Stay off the roadway. Keep the vehicles off the roadway. All right, remember there is a county noise ordinance. Thank you.
What
time is that going to effect? It's always in effect. If you're over 50
it's an ordinance.
Yeah.
Ordinance. Okay, so it's not really a law. It's just
y'all just sit here. Okay.
Wind that girl in tail, officer.
Justice for Quinton.
You don't want to talk about that, do you?
Justice for Quinton. Y'all see what we get?
Have a nice day, officer.
Glad you showed
Don't
up.
be doing it.
Glad y'all can show up. 12 deep. He tried to say I was here the last time they gave, rules. I haven't been here. I've never seen that officer once.
Dang, that lady looks like the woman that was married to Dog the Bounty Hunter. Holy moly, she looks just like her. And he may have mistaken her as Bullhorn Betty. Seemed like what he did was say, y'all have to get off the road. Obviously, you're putting yourself in jeopardy if you're on the road. And he brought up some city ordinance. I could not understand what he was saying. That was not Bullhorn Betty, I don't think. Because she said, was that Bullhorn Betty, you guys? Whoever that blonde was, she looked a lot like Beth that was married to Dog the Bounty Hunter. I didn't think that was Bullhorn Betty, but I guess it could have. She looks like Beth to me too. Yeah, and Beth is deceased. Dog got remarried like a year ago or so.
Kelly, you want to do something?
Okay, there's 4,000 of you in your room. Sum up, like the video. Okay, it's coming from where? I told you it's growing. It's going to get crazy tonight.
Literally.
It's an order. It ain't a law. It's an order.
Amen. More people are showing up. Guys, more people are showing up here. This community is outraged. That press conference did this community in. You guys failed this
Can
child.
we see everything? Hold on.
Yeah, that's Dolly. He is the owner of the channel. So yeah, it was Bullhorn Betty. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the press conference really quickly, and then we'll close this one out if you guys do want to go watch that. This is a community that they're in, and I understand the outrage, but at the same time, like the babysitter down the street, she has 6 children in her house, and that man is on a mic, what it sounded like, cursing. The motherfucker, and it's like, if this was my neighborhood and I had somebody right down the street, I would be A-okay with them protesting, with them, standing on the side, no justice, no peace. That's because I heard them yelling that while ago. Where's Quinton? Where's Quinton? I would be A-okay with that. But the yelling and the screaming, the cursing, I would not be okay with that if my kids could hear it at all. Because, everybody's worried about where Quinton is. Leilani should speak up and tell us where Quinton is rather than leaving his body out there. But at the same time, be considerate of the other little ears that are around that could potentially hear that. My hubby sleeps all day and works all night. I would have an issue with them on my street. Exactly. And like I said, I like Dolly. And I enjoyed his coverage of it, him just being there in case anything popped off and being online and having the discussion or whatever. My blood pressure's off the charts. I mean, yeah, I would not, I don't think I agree with that, you guys. I don't know. Like, I just.
Nobody wants to hear about it. Everybody forget about it. Whole neighborhood, 160 motherfuckers.
See, there it went again. The whole neighborhood is something of these MFers. No, I'm sorry, guys. Please be considerate of the other people. Yeah, let the police do their job. I mean, if you want to stand there and that's one thing, but I don't like that. Okay, let's go back to finish the press conference. Sorry, guys. Make my picture a little bit bigger. All right, let's go back.
And promise all of our available resources and expertise to assist Chatham County in finding little Quinton.
Thank you, Will.
Oh, so he did just say we're using every avenue that we have available, all of our expertise. Everything is being focused on finding Quinton.
Now, we'll take a few questions if you'd like.
What makes you think that Quinton is in this landfill?
Take a few questions if you'd like.
What makes you think that Quinton is in this landfill?
The evidence.
Okay, so her question, in case you guys couldn't hear it, she said, what makes you guys believe that Quinton is in this landfill? What makes you guys believe that Quinton is in this landfill? And let's listen to his response.
This has led us to this place at this date and time.
Is there anything specific you can tell us?
Nothing.
The evidence has led us to this specific place at this specific time. Is there anything else you can tell us? And he said not at this particular time.
I can tell you specifically.
Chief, what day do you think you would come to this landfill? Is this something you knew last Thursday, last Wednesday, last Tuesday?
What made you guys come to the conclusion that it was this landfill? Did you guys come to the conclusion last Tuesday, last Wednesday, last Thursday, last Friday? Like, when did you guys realize that he could potentially be at the landfill?
Yesterday or this morning?
Agent Clark's going to answer any questions about the landfill.
We've been reviewing the evidence throughout the duration of this investigation. We've been following the evidence where it has taken us, and the evidence has taken us to this landfill.
So he let the FBI guy take over, Mr. Will Clark. Yeah. And any questions about the landfill? Essentially, he says we're going to let the FBI man talk about that. He says all the evidence that we have is pointing us to this direction.
The efforts to undertake this landfill search have been several days in the planning. We brought in experts in landfill searches to guide us to the specific area where we'll be searching. Like I said in my comments before, this is not, we're not searching the whole landfill. We have a specific area where we are looking.
And Agent Clark, in these landfill searches, I know the recovery evidence team has done this before. This is an area that you've now gridded off. There's no more trash coming there, and it's away from anything new that would be coming in.
Yes.
So that reporter asked, do you guys have a specific area, and is it like taped off to where no more trash can make it to that area? That way trucks are not, coming and bringing more waste and piling it on top of where he could potentially be. And he said, yes, that's correct. Like, they have got it roped off to where they have it down to a specific part of the landfill, and they will be searching that specific part. No more waste will come into that part of the landfill.
And is that because of where this trash specifically came from?
Yes.
And then for the chief, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We talked to you 2:30 the Wednesday that he went missing. You were so hopeful in this, and your tone has changed. You almost sound like you were about to choke out there. You must be emotionally drained. You're investigators, as agents. Just can you talk about how hard this case has been?
Yeah, you're trying to get.
So that one, I think what he said is, when we talked to you last week, you seemed a lot more hopeful. But earlier when you were talking about Quinton, you almost choked up. So basically, how hard is this essentially on the guys looking for Quinton, the ones doing the work? How difficult is this emotionally, mentally, physically for you guys?
Made her cry, I think.
And he said, you're trying to make me cry, huh?
But it has. We had a meeting yesterday, and to look across the multitude of people that are here and to feel and see their emotions, and but that's coupled with determination and dedication so we can find little Quinton and provide him a proper resting place.
So he says, yeah, it has been difficult. And when they had the press conference the other day to look around and see all the faces, people that were invested in this and hurt by this, it gave them even more drive to want to find little Quinton. They know exactly where the truck on the day and the time empty load. It's been painstaking. I'll look for that. Run with scissors.
It does take its toll. There's a lot of time, energy, and effort that goes into not only the investigation, but the logistics in terms of getting everything we need to be able to provide the proper resources for the search teams and the investigators so we can reach a conclusion at some point. There's a large order of magnitude that has been brought to bear here for this, and I'll say it again, I can't thank the FBI enough for all that they have done. They have been tremendous and phenomenal.
And you know, this is obviously is a criminal investigation now. It was a missing person, and there's no way that it's not, right? No one's been charged?
No one has been charged.
Why has no one been charged?
Because we're not ready to charge anyone yet. We still have work to do. We still have.
So he asked, has anyone been charged yet? No one's been charged. Why not? We still have work to do. And he's going to go over into why they haven't charged anyone.
An investigation to do, and we are not going to do anything preemptively that would harm future prosecution, where I'm standing before you 6 months from now talking about a flawed investigation or talking about why we did this and why we didn't do that. I believe in our investigators. I believe in the expertise that we brought to bear here. We are tracking in the right direction, but we're only going to do that when we're ready to do that.
Chief, is that because you're holding out to make this a capital punishment case?
No.
So basically he said, I don't want to be standing here, sometime later and have to discuss why we didn't win this case, essentially. So they're trying to get every piece of evidence that they need to make this stick because they want to arrest her. They don't want this to be another Casey Anthony story where everyone knows that she's guilty, but the state just did not have the evidence to prove their case because they made the arrest from being pressured by the public, So no one has been charged yet, yes. And yes, there was a trash truck that went by a while ago. I saw that as well. Also, I think he asked, is there any hope? Are you holding out any hope? Is there any hope that little Quinton could be found alive? And he said no. No, there's not.
Chief, is this landfill the only place that y'all are going to be searching?
Yes.
You mentioned, of course, this is going to be a large scale.
Is this the only place that you guys are going to be searching? He said yes. And she's bringing up the fact that it's a large scale search. Like this is the big area that they have to search.
Really strenuous operation. Do you guys maybe have a vague idea of how long you think it'll take, or is that just kind of up to what happens out there?
Because it is such a wide scale search, do you guys have any idea? Do you guys have any idea of how long this is going to take? How long the search is going to last? How long is it going to take for you guys to find him? And he says he has a lot of faith that they're going to find him, essentially.
It's kind of up to what happens, but as Agent Clark said, this is not going to be quick. This is not going to happen within a day or so. We are here for the long haul until we determine that we don't need to be here anymore.
Chief, let's back up a little bit in this investigation. One thing that never happened was there was never an Amber Alert sent out. There was never a Levi.
This reporter is bringing up there was never an Amber Alert that was ever issued when baby Quinton went missing. And he's going to ask why, and he's going to explain that it didn't meet the criteria. Yes, I'm okay. Sorry, just tired. It's been the past few months has been extremely busy for me, so I'm just tired.
Levi's call sent out. Why was that?
It didn't meet the criteria of an Amber Alert at that time.
Why so?
I have to go back and look at the exact criteria, but we didn't have any specific information about an abduction. We didn't have a suspect for an abduction. We didn't have a vehicle description or anything like that. And Amber Alerts are very prescriptive in terms of when you can issue them, and we didn't have that information at that time.
Chief, how tough is it to stand here right now and know the only outcome of this is someone threw that little baby in the trash?
It's tough, but we understand that it's necessary. This is the work that we do. Albeit emotionally draining, albeit tough, albeit difficult. But this is what the community asks of our law enforcement officers.
I want to clarify something, Chief. It was asking a question earlier. Do y'all believe that Quinton was brought here and thrown in the landfill, or thrown in the trash and then ended up in the landfill?
Do y'all believe that Quinton was brought here and thrown in the trash, or arrived at the landfill by other means? Like, do you guys believe that Leilani drove him to the landfill, or do you guys believe that he was put in the garbage somewhere else and was brought by way of, the garbage trucks?
We believe that he was placed in a specific dumpster at a specific location, and it was brought here by regular means of disposal.
The dumpster at the gas station, yeah, 95.
I can't answer that.
Was that dumpster at a gas station is what the reporter just asked. Was the dumpster at a gas station? And he says, I can't answer that. Of course, he's not going to be able to answer where the body was disposed at.
Is Leilani Simon still the only suspect?
She is.
Is Leilani still your only suspect? She is.
You didn't believe she was a flight risk? Is that
Do you guys believe, or when we talked last, you guys said that you did not believe that she was a flight risk. Do you guys believe that she's a flight risk now? This is interesting the way that he responds to this.
That has not changed.
how hopeful are you that you'll find Quinton's body?
I have every belief that we will find his remains here at the landfill.
So she said, how confident are you that you guys will find him? I have every belief that we will find him here at the landfill.
Do y'all know where Leilani is today? And I don't mean right at this actual moment, but do y'all know where she is?
Do y'all know where Leilani is? Not at this exact moment, but do you know where she is?
I believe she's still here in Chatham County. We do not believe she's a flight risk.
And again, I'll ask one more time, what makes you believe that she's not a flight risk?
I can't get into that.
I think they have her on some type of monitoring device. The fact that they let her go home. They didn't obviously arrest her when she came in and talked to them. But I think they're monitoring her in some way. Either undercover officers are outside of her house, or they have her on like an ankle monitor or something, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
So that was it really quickly. There's little Quinton. They put his picture up, and I think it's a good idea that they do that. Like I said, I think it's a good idea that the officers do, they have his picture out there to look at him, and they are reminded of who they're looking for. Just in times of if they get weary, get tired, whatever, they have his photo there and can see what they're pushing for. So there is a photo online of them searching, allegedly, this is what they're saying, and I just can't believe this is, they're saying this is the search, but I don't believe that. From the way, maybe it is. Okay, hold on. Your background so good. Thank you so much. That is that. Somebody actually said that. Somebody actually said, look at Brian Laundrie. You guys didn't, arrest him, and look how that ended. And I'm like, that. Yeah, I get it. Another boyfriend said he saw Cute before he went to work, but did he say if the baby was awake or sleeping? He didn't, from my understanding. I just think he said the baby was in his playpen. So, let's see. This is the entrance of the landfill marsh before it gets dry land. It's huge. You have to drive back even further to get where the search would be. So we'll look at this really quickly. This is over on Twitter. This is the landfill. This is the surrounding area of the landfill. You have to go back further, I think, to get to where they're going to be searching for him. Okay, so the search for Quinton begins, and apparently
this is likely to go on for days. Sadly, these agents are more looking for remains.
I don't want to get in trouble for this TikTok is at the official _disguise. But I guess that is. That's the picture that's circulating of them at the landfill wearing those suits. Right there. That's the picture that is circulating of them, allegedly at the landfill. Searching for baby Quinton. she could at least tell them what she put him in. And I don't know if she hasn't. Yes, faith in humanity. I'm sorry, that is something under my desk. I have a foot massager under my desk. I have like arthritis in my feet, and sometimes the pain gets really, really, really bad. So my feet will hurt really, really, really bad. So I sit at my desk most days massaging my feet because they hurt really bad. I'm sorry if you guys hear that. I wish she could give us something to, tell them. And I don't know that she hasn't, but I feel like she probably hasn't. Something, it was in this. All right. This was posted not too long ago. The Chatham County Police Department entered a new phase in the Quinton Simon case today as they began a search in the waste management landfill. The Chatham County Police Department, with the assistance of the FBI, made the decision to search the landfill after evidence in the case led them to the conclusion that they could find Quinton's remains at the location. Both agencies spent the last several days mobilizing the manpower and equipment needed for the search, which began this morning. This operation will include a team of searchers daily from the Chatham County Police Department and FBI, along with dozens of support personnel. The FBI Evidence Response Team is leading the landfill search, which will be a precise and extensive recovery mission for Quinton's remains and other potential evidence. Quinton was 20 months old when he was reported missing on October 5th, 2022, from his home. Last week, Chatham County Police announced that they believe Quinton is deceased and named his mother, Leilani Simon, the primary suspect in his disappearance. And that's the okay, it looks like this is what they're doing right here. They're all taking buckets. Maybe they're all getting these pitchfork type situations, and they're getting buckets, right? And they are having to go through each piece of waste and put it in the bucket and move to another area until that area is completely cleaned off and there's nothing else there. The press keeps asking questions the police can't answer. It's irritating, so they want him to jeopardize their case. Yeah, gotta be very careful. And I was watching it. When I was watching it, someone in the chat said, "Can someone please explain to these people what double jeopardy is?" And I'm like, that's true. I mean, the thing is that if they get it wrong once, if they arrest her and try her and she gets away with it, they can't retry her. It is what it is. It's done. It's Casey Anthony all over again. What a piece of work. This family has 2 murderers in it. That's pretty wild. That's not very common. It's not common to have one family member that's a murderer, let alone both of your children. You have 3 children, and 2 out of your 3 children have killed people. That's something for sure. All right, you guys, we are going to discuss for a little bit. I am just looking to see if there's anything. Sorry, guys, I forgot to turn my volume down, and I clicked on this video. I'm double checking to make sure there's nothing new. Just seen drone footage of landfill site search for 20-month-old Quinton Simon. Heartbreaking. Don't envy poor police and FBI searchers. How can any mother dump her child in the bin? It's beyond me. Can't even call her a mother. I'm not going to call her a mother. I'll call her Leilani. I'm not going to call her a mother. Yeah, I recognize the big behind the same one. Yeah, mine's a really big one down there. Yeah, 2 murders. So her brother is in on a 45-year sentence for murdering someone. So, he lured a man named Timothy, but they called him Timmy. Him and one of his friends lured Timmy into the woods, tied his hands behind his back, and shot him in the stomach and left him for dead. And he died. And his brother is doing a 45-year sentence right now on that. I hate to be the person, but I think she told him everything with a lawyer. We should prepare for an agreement they have already made. I wouldn't be surprised on that, actually. I wonder if they haven't arrested anyone yet because she is cooperating and giving truthful information. If she's arrested, she'll likely immediately be lawyered up and shut up. She does have a lawyer. We did hear that when she first initially went to the police department, the day that she was seen leaving the house, that she went and spoke to her lawyer, and then they went to the police department, is what is being alleged. Oh my gosh, people in Dallas, people are harassing the police, and that's not going to get anywhere, to harass the police. I mean, not that officer can't do nothing to speed up this process. It's not like he can go in there and just arrest her and take her in and be like, well, guys, I arrested her. No need to thank me. I did everyone's job. You're welcome. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He would get fired if he did that, more than likely, because they would be like, what are you doing? I mean, honestly, I wish I could go. I would definitely go if I could, but it would just be to be there in the event of if something happened. I could go live, hang out outside the house like Dolly's doing. I actually don't mind that. I actually like that Dolly's doing that. Because I do feel like people get online each day and they want to discuss this topic. Even if no news has broken, I do feel like, oh wow, here's some live footage. Hold on. Okay, here we are. Hold up. Wow, you guys. Hold on. I gotta shrink this up a little bit because you guys can't even see all of it. All right, so here we are right here. So it's this. Okay, so this is probably why they didn't search over the weekend. What they did, it seemed like, is they cleared out a spot. It seems like they cleared out this spot below where all the trash had been dumped. They made a big clearing, and they are using like equipment to bring loads of trash down. And then they're having men lined up going through the trash one by each piece of trash, and then they're putting it away in buckets and stuff, and moving it to another location. And when you're looking at it right now, you guys just think about it. He's somewhere out there. Little Quinton right now is somewhere, more than likely, out there. And we'll know if they find him if a tent pops up. If a green tent or a blue tent pops up, he's been found. And there is, oh my God, y'all, there's all the trash. Oh my God, there's all the trash. Okay, so here they are starting. They got all these tents that are already popped up. And they're walking out. So this is why it took them the weekend to prep. They had to get the right team out there, and it looked like they did clear off a big clearing, and they brought that honestly, Angela, yeah, I would imagine so. If they did bring some cadaver dogs out there, if that would help. But it might not. Maybe with it being so much trash and like maybe dirty diapers. I don't know. But y'all look in a minute. It's going to show the whole area that has the trash, and it's a lot. But I'm concerned. Look at that piece of equipment down there, just moving trash, just picking it up, and that concerns me because what if he was right there, and like. Wow. Wow. Okay, so up towards the top, that whole area up there is trash, like where the trash has been dumped. They just look like little ants down there moving around, or little tiny men down there. I was going to show a picture in a minute of like the dogs are trained to hit on a very specific scent. So like feces wouldn't throw them off, right? Okay, so there it is right there. Look at that big heel, and all of that is like garbage, I think. Bullhorn Betty had to tell someone to stop yelling because the police are trying to tell them instead of the road that school buses will be coming soon. I'm glad that she's trying to keep the situation calm down. As you say, it looks like they were setting everything up over the weekend. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, Candy. From my understanding, this was taken not too long ago. Of the search. So sad. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't sleep at night. Knowing my precious baby's body was out there. A while back our dog got out. And we let her out to tinkle. And a few minutes later, Sean yelled for her because she normally comes right back when Sean yells for her. So Sean yelled for her and she didn't come back. And Sean got concerned that someone had stolen her. He's like, I think somebody stole her. And it was late. We don't let her out during the day. At night we will because she'll stay right there in the yard most of the time. So he's like, I think someone stole her. She's very pretty dog. And I just couldn't go to bed. I was like, I cannot go to sleep not knowing where my dog is, and even thinking that I'm going to leave her out in the cold. I couldn't even begin to fathom if this was a child. If they bring out cadaver dogs, I wonder how many unfortunate and non-found missing things people they might find. Seems like that town has a history of sadistic misfortunes. That will be, it's kind of like AWP, that channel AWP, where they look for missing people underwater. And there's been times they go out there looking for one person and one vehicle, but they find more than one. And then they got to figure out, well, who is this person? Or, they find another vehicle and they're like, well, whose truck did this belong to? We got to figure out if somebody's in it. Because you just never know. I am going to continue keeping my eye on this. If anything breaks, I will jump on here. But I don't think obviously if any new updates happen, I'll come on today. Obviously if he is found, we'll hop on here, so just be on the lookout. Thank you, Faith in Humanity. I'm kind of tired today, but thank you. I appreciate that. Well, she is the reason her child is in the landfill, so she can't. She shouldn't be able to sleep. I think she should be in jail. Um, but I have a few other topics that I'm going to be discussing today. And then I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this. You guys, I struggle because I'm like, that is so terrible. I remember that. Thank God you're healing. I gotta, I want to touch on that in just a little bit, but I got a few topics I'm going to discuss today. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. Honestly, if I didn't have so much going on this weekend and it would be so costly, I probably would drive out there this weekend. Unfortunately, we have school dances, homecomings this weekend, and I have football games, so I can't. But if this is still going on weeks to come, I might go out there. I don't know, because I really want to, not to yell and scream and hoopla or whatever, but just to, you know, go and be there and bring you guys coverage from there like Dolly's doing. Now, Faith in Humanity. I actually watched a show the other day called Prison Wife or something like that. And the story was a woman has married a man that was in prison. I thought about that, Candy. And she became his pen pal. But the reason he was in prison is because he was renting a house from his mother-in-law, him and his wife. And they were really bad off on drugs. And the mother-in-law, first off, they stopped paying rent. They wasn't paying rent like they were supposed to. Mother-in-law found out that they were stealing her checks and going writing themselves checks and cashing them to buy drugs. So she was actually going to kick them out, and he killed her. He and the daughter, yeah, killed her. So I am so glad you are okay. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest reasons not to be a renter. You never know who you're renting to, and you don't know if they're psycho. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so glad that you are healing. We have a person missing here, and it's under investigation. Been missing since the first of the year. He lived on 200 block, and I've known him for over 20 years. His name is Rick Kellogg. Where do you live? Around about general area. Finally healing just after another surgery. They removed my bottle of my because it wouldn't heal. So sorry. So sorry. Yes, Candy, you can meet me there. Me, you, and Cece. I don't know how far D is. Nat, I know you're nowhere close. And then we could go get patties because Laura knows Cece needs one. I'm just kidding. I actually had I had a dream about me and my moderators. That we all met up and we went and got mani patties, and that one of them really needed one really bad. Her feet was super dirty. But the reason I dreamed that is because I just talked to that particular mod the day before, and she told me that her and her boyfriend were getting mani patties. So I think that's why I had the reason, and I think that's the reason I had the dream that me and my mods all met up, and that and that one of them had really dirty feet. My renter almost shot my grandbaby. I said, yeah, I remember that. That is just, I can't even. I hope who shot you was in jail. Them grocery store feet. Exactly them. Yeah, I was going to say them Britney Spears feet because you guys know she used to walk around barefooted. But I'm a Britney Spears fan. Don't fuck with me. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to be keeping my eye on this. You guys, if you see anything, if any news breaks of this story, please email me. If anything happens, please reach out to me. Here's my email. Shoot me an email. Let me know, hey, they say this is happening, and I'll see if I can find any information on it. And we'll hop on the live stream to give updates as soon as we can. But yeah, you guys give this video a thumbs up if you don't mind. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this story. And thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back here a little bit later to talk about some Josh Duggar news. There is a inmate within inside the prison, a source, who gave a little bit of information about Josh's visits and the books that Anna Duggar is sending Josh. So I'm going to do that video in just a little bit. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.